to the approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to the approval of minutes from our last meeting on January 25th of 2020.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to the introduction of evidence.
I have the city ordinances and design guidelines here, and then there's a copy of the staff packet and supplemental materials on the table that was provided to you, I believe, last Thursday or Friday.
I move to accept the evidence as presented.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to old business, SGHC 009-21, to receive a certificate of appropriateness to construct a deck on the front of the house at 419 Robert Street. Do we have anyone here to speak on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you come to the podium and introduce yourself, please?
Oh, really? I got a screwed together hill.
That's all right.
Yes, James Lewis representing, it would be William Roberts.
Do we have any questions?
Are you going to have steps coming off of the deck?
Yes, ma'am.
In what
They will.
direction?
They will be recessed in. Everything will be 4 foot from the sidewalk.
Is it going to be coming out the front of the deck or either side?
It will be coming out of the front onto the sidewalk, but it will set back into, I gave David a drawing somewhat of it.
It's the second page there.
I'm not very computer techy, so I don't know. I really ain't.
It looks very straightforward.
You see the stairs there?
Yeah. The house here, stairs that way.
That's a very important little house that you're occupying because the block there is important.
Correct.
There's, the house directly across from it is,
Uh-huh.
as you probably know, is a vertical log house and been carefully restored.
Yes.
And several of the other buildings in that block probably have at their core vertical log structures. At least that's what some prominent architects have stated. So we are, I think most of the citizens of St. Genevieve would be,
Right.
we got to be careful about the appearance of the block. And you're taking on a difficult job there. It's a small,
Yeah.
narrow lot and not a
Yes.
great deal of space.
No, sir, there isn't.
And I can appreciate that it's not an easy job to come up with what one.
No.
But a few questions. The submittal lists various types of lumber that you're going to use.
Yes.
Will all the lumber that's exposed to visible be planed and painted or coated?
No, we'll keep it treated. It is treated lumber for right now, and it'll stay treated unless we
I'm
need
sorry.
to paint it.
You can't paint it?
At this time, I wouldn't, because it is pressure treated lumber.
Well, I'm not talking about that which is exposed to view. Your porch railings, for one.
Yes, they'll
Your
be,
porch deck, for one, the upper surface anyway.
yes,
And,
it'll be smooth.
Those items that are exposed to view, just so it's not rough sawn lumber, so that
Oh,
it
no,
is
sir.
planed and coated in some way.
Yes. At this point, like I said, it's pressure treated, and I don't advise anybody to paint over that for several months. And otherwise I know it rots inside out.
Now, there will be a baluster, I mean, a railing around the porch.
Yes.
What about below the porch? Will that be
It will.
lattice work or something of that nature?
Correct. Lattice.
Okay, either that or vegetation.
It'll be lattice. That's
Okay, that
what they're
sounds good.
preferring.
Well, as I say, it's not an easy job to.
No, I know. He's part of the family, so yeah.
But it sounds like you've thought of all the,
Yeah, I've thought of different options of how to do this, because the first appearance, I mean, he wanted the steps to dump right to the sidewalk, the city sidewalk. And I told him, I was like, no, that's no good. We need to stay, preferably, if it was me, I would build it smaller, but
no.
Are there any additional questions?
Oh. No, that was pretty much the question that I had. And the steps are gonna come up to the sidewalk, but not over it. Right.
correct, you'll have 4 foot, everything will be 4 foot away from the city sidewalk.
Okay.
Now, all the dimensions here don't check out if you go.
Yeah, I know, I noticed that. I realized too, 'cause I
But
kinda drew it
I-
up kinda roughly for David
Yeah.
again, and
All
no,
I'm
it'll,
suggesting is you may want to check those dimensions again before you cut the stuff up.
well, exactly, yeah, that ain't no doubt. It'll actually be, the decking itself will be the 14 foot wide, but the frame will set in about 1.5 inches on each side. And then we'll put it on 24-inch centers with 2x6 lumber on top.
And will the existing walkway from, it's only be 4 feet, but will it be included? Or do you need an extra walkway to the porch?
Well, what it's getting at, he's a disabled vet. And what he's wanting to do, more than likely in spring, he likes to sit outside and read. And he can't do it on the back deck because it's always shady. So, and what he's wanting to do is alongside the house, in front of it, and between the house and that tree, is put a ramp there eventually, because sometimes he has to ride his little scooter deal.
Well, I do it as best, it works best, but just to be sure there is some hard, durable path to the stairway.
Well, yes, there will be. The sidewalk will remain there. I don't plan on removing the steps or the sidewalk.
Like the concrete walkway that goes from the city sidewalk to the house, is what you're talking about?
Correct.
Yeah.
And are you putting any electric to it, any lighting?
Electric?
Well, I imagine there's some type of porch lighting on it now.
Yeah, they have a front light. That'll be it.
Okay.
What it is right now is he has problems stepping down of his front door to get his mail.
Yeah.
And this is why he's wanting this, and then plus reading. And
Well, I think a light on the steps somewhere would be appropriate, just so it doesn't slip your mind and make it more difficult to do later.
yes, that'd be fine too. I mean, I have no problems. I mean, I would rather build this thing the way you all would prefer it and the way I would prefer it. Because I don't want to do something that's going to look shoddy. I just ain't quite like that.
Well, I will propose that we accept the application as explained and expanded upon. Now, I move that we accept the proposal.
A second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the certificate of appropriateness. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
I do like the idea of lighted steps, though,
I
especially
do too,
for...
I'm kinda glad he mentioned that. I really am.
I will put the certificate in the mail tomorrow.
Okay,
We had talked about the building permit, so at this point, once you get that certificate, just post it whenever you start.
okay, yeah, I think we're gonna have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little wet right now.
Oh, he was already, boy, if that meeting goes right, we'll get you over here with an auger tomorrow. I was like, man, come on. I don't want to mire all the way up my backside in mud.
Thank you for attending tonight.
Well, I appreciate your guys' time. I'm sorry about the last time, Mayor, but
That's all right.
his wife just actually got out of the hospital,
That's all right.
so she's done well. Well, I appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate the approval.
So good
Thank you
luck,
all.
and we hope you have better weather to do it than we've had
I'm
recently.
telling you, I'm gonna need a canoe before too long.
Yeah, very soon.
And I'm glad
Just
you
put in
brought
a
that
boat
light
dock.
up, 'cause I didn't even really think about that. I had too much stuff going on.
Have a good night.
But, all right, I appreciate you all.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to new business.
We have none.
Okay. Administrative approvals.
There was one, it was for a metal sign on an existing sign pole. It's very similar to the sign that was there when the previous business was there at 195 Market Street.
What was that advertising or identified?
Previously, it was three little Indians. Actually, that sign was different. That was a wood sign, but the sign just down the street at the back office, so that's across from French Colonial America.
Now, I'm not sure where it is on,
The Bossier House.
what was it previously?
What was the sign previously?
Yeah,
There was three little Indians there previously.
okay, I know the building you're talking about then.
So now it will
And
have
that-
like a tea shop.
You don't need permanent paint on the building.
No, it's just a small metal sign.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to other business.
Just a quick update, these are not finished, but I was going to show them to you. These are a couple of flyers that we would use to advertise the upcoming historic preservation workshop. So one is about restoring windows, one's about restoring wood siding and trim. Again, please keep those or I'll recycle them because they don't have 100% accurate information on them yet.
Do you need examples to be worked on?
We will have to find a house with, it'll only be a single window, so I don't want anyone to get too excited and start knocking down City Hall's doors.
No.
The group will work on one window, and then they will turn around the next day and work on siding and trim, but it will not be the entire house. It's a one-day workshop, so we will start looking for locations here in the next couple weeks. It would also need access to 2 or 3 separate circuit outlets and working space for approximately 16 people, 8-foot tables, preferably covered, like a 2-car garage or a large covered porch. So I will be looking for that location. I'm sure there'll be plenty of volunteers. Tentatively, again, I know I've covered this a few times, May 15th and 16th of this year.
Oh,
All right. That's all I have.
alrighty.
Okay. And no public comments this evening? Unless you have something, Mayor? No? Okay.
No?
All right, we can adjourn.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thank you all very
Thanks.
much.